Hello and welcome everyone. We're back to Testimony TV to do another great testimony of another great individual. I'll let her introduce herself and I'll let her talk about her artwork in the back. Judy, introduce yourself to the world.
Hi, my name is Judy Cromer. I'm here in Florida. I moved here in July 2013, and as for my art, it was done by my late husband's uncle many years ago. It's from the Saturday Evening Post magazine. It's just such a lovely piece that I feel fortunate to have it.
Okay. Testimony TV is all about individuals who have a testimony first and foremost. Specifically something to do with cancer. We will let Judy tell us about her walk to not only inspire but to help someone, to inform someone, and take it away, Judy.
In 6 weeks after I moved here in 2013, unfortunately I had a very bad accident at the dog park. I was run over by three 80-pound dogs and wound up in a wheelchair for 5 months with a broken leg and a broken wrist. At that time, my nephew came to stay with me and help me, and my sister. Right after that recovery, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. My nephew stayed on, my sister went home, and he continued to take care of me through my surgery, through my recovery. I was very fortunate. I only needed 30 rounds of radiation. I came through it extremely well. I was very grateful to have family here and to help me. Shortly after that, my nephew went back to New York. Unfortunately, he was home a short time and he passed away. I think it was God's will to have him here to take care of me. I would not have been able to take care of myself. So as I'm on the road to recovery and thinking how fortunate I was to have so much help and to come through all these things so well, I then became diagnosed with lung cancer. So last September, I had the upper right lobe removed and all of the lymph nodes. And once again, my recovery was wonderful, with the exception when I came home from the hospital, they had failed to deliver my oxygen, so I wound up back in the hospital for another 5 days. It's been 6 months. I've had pneumonia twice. 3 weeks ago, I was in intensive care for 2 days, then 3 more days in the hospital. But once again, God is good. I'm strong. I don't require oxygen. I can walk my dogs every day. Sadly, I have seen so many people that have been hit with one type of cancer or another, and they just can't seem to get past their diagnosis. And the way we were raised in my family was to be grateful for what we don't have instead of dwelling on what we do have. And I like to think that I had cancer, but cancer didn't have me. And I just hope that anyone that's watching this that may feel, and rightfully so, confused and afraid, because it is confusing and it is scary. It's a terrible thing to have to go through.
Did you ever at some point feel like a victim?
No. And I will tell you, once again, when you're diagnosed with breast cancer, it's a shock. It's a shock. And I could say, oh, like, we didn't have this in my family. I'm the first one. That this can't be. And my first thought was, okay, what can I do now to take care of this?
Mm-hmm.
But I never thought of myself as a victim. And I don't even think I cried. But when I was diagnosed the second time with the lung cancer, then I was thinking, oh, well, this isn't good, you know, one cancer after another. But I've never felt as though I was a victim. I had both my mother and my brother passed away from lung cancer. But I was still very, very surprised. It's not related to my breast cancer. It's two totally different cancers, which is a good thing.
What do you think helped you personally in your overcoming? Because we're not talking about just one incident, we're talking about two incidents. You seem to me like a very upbeat person, but what would you attribute that to? Is there something specific you would say you attribute that to? And I'm thinking specifically of a talk we had before, and you said you were a person of faith.
I am a person of faith. I'm not a person that spends time in church, although I did have a religious background in my schooling. But I will stop in any church of any denomination if I feel the need to speak to God, but I also feel that way in my backyard. And I do feel as though, I always feel as though there's something greater than me, and with my faith that I'll get through it. It's just, I've never felt like I'm a victim. I've never felt as though I've been singled out. I've never done the woe is me. I may have had a few moments both times saying, oh no, you know, I don't want to do this. They may have lasted 2 minutes, but feeling that way is not going to change it. Mm-hmm. It's not going to change anything. And I think your attitude is the biggest part of your recovery.
Tell me something about that group that you said you were going to. You're going to one tonight.
I am
going. Is it helpful? Is it not helpful? Do you tell me? Because I'm unaware of it, but you let us know if it's helpful and if people should participate of them.
I go to a breast cancer support group here in Boca Raton that's run by a Dr. Cindy Collins, who is just a wonderful, caring woman. She helps us in so many ways, just so many ways. And I'm one of the original ones from the group. And unfortunately, now the group's been going for 3 years. Unfortunately, the other original person from the group passed away last week. Mm-hmm. She's had, as far as I can recall, 3 different types of cancer. Just a wonderful woman. She'll be missed. I'm looking forward to Dr. Collins' group this afternoon because I think we all need a little healing. But we do get a lot of people that are newly diagnosed that come into it that have a lot of questions and concerns. And the whole point of this group is to try to share as much information and to try to encourage people and to take away some of their fears if we can. Dr. Collins has a way of doing that and getting others to try to inspire. Every now and then, though, we have people that are in a really bad place, and that's okay. It's okay to be afraid, or they're very depressed. And hopefully by the end of our meeting, even if we just give them that little bit of encouragement or something to think about, and I see it time after time. It's a wonderful group. I'm grateful for it.
Fabulous. With your walk, you had the breast cancer, you had the lung cancer. How did you find the treatments?
The treatments, I had a partial mastectomy with the breast cancer and 30 rounds of radiation I did very well with the surgery. I did very well with the radiation. I had the radiation in the same facility where Dr. Collins has her meetings. Everyone was wonderful. But after you go through that process for a number of months and all of a sudden you're released from doctors when your whole life has been nothing but treatment and doctors, you're kind of like a fish out of water. You have to readjust to a whole new lifestyle. And that was a little puzzling and troublesome for me. And I find that's such for a lot of people that go through that. Now with the lung cancer, I was fortunate enough to have Da Vinci surgery, which is fabulous. My biggest problem was the chest tube because I'm a very small person. The recovery was wonderful, and I did not need chemo nor radiation.
Oh, nice.
So, like I said, God is good. Here I am.
Won't give you more than we can bear.
That's right.
What was the gaps between your situations?
I was diagnosed, I had my breast cancer surgery in November 2014, and I had my lung cancer surgery in September of 2017. So it was a little shy of 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Something just came to my mind. If you're comfortable with it, what was the name of your husband?
His name was Ken Cromer, and he, unfortunately, well, we lived on a horse farm in North Carolina, and we had a hay delivery, and he inhaled the mold spore from the hay, which they thought was pneumonia, but what it did was it just ate up his lungs in a few weeks, and he had passed away. It was very unexpected and sudden, and that was almost 11 years ago.
Okay, and I ask you that for a specific reason. Because people always, we come, we go, we live, and I have this saying that I always say to people. It said, people are forgotten, and people are literally dead only when you stop talking about them or thinking about them.
That's very true.
As long as you're talking about people, as long as you're thinking about them, that's being alive.
That's very true.
You know,
is,
so
yes.
it means it exists. It existed or it exists. So that's why I asked you a specific question.
Well, I spoke to him quite a bit through all these incidents.
There you go.
So just,
yeah,
we had a number of conversations through this.
All right. So your support system was strong through it all. You had family,
Yes.
you had friends, you had faith. To individuals out there feeling despair, because now you're a widow,
Mm-hmm.
and to that person, because no one is an island by themselves, and they're feeling despaired and woe is me, as we had said before, encourage that person. Look in the camera, tell that person, leave your mark in the world, and let them know, hey, I did it, you can do it.
Reach out to your family. Reach out to your neighbors and your friends. Don't be afraid to ask for help,
Mm-hmm.
because they may be afraid to offer it, thinking that they're intruding.
Mm-hmm.
Open up that door. But more importantly, if you know someone that's going through that, or even if you don't, if you're fortunate enough to be well, reach out to someone that isn't. Go to a cancer support group. See if somebody needs a ride to a doctor, or a little grocery shopping, or to walk their dog.
Mm-hmm.
It's give up an hour a week.
I notice you have two friends here, two lovely dogs. What are their names?
Sam, which is my black lab, is my rescue black lab, and Dixie, who's my rescue yellow lab.
Okay.
They're not very high energy, but they've been great companions to me. And even something like that, if you can't walk a dog, they say that pets are very healing.
Tell me about the blonde. You said she was a...
She's a rescue dog. She's
Okay.
from South Carolina, actually. She was tied up for 2 years. When I got her, she had been tied to her dead sibling for over a week, and she had advanced heartworm, so 1/3 of her heart doesn't work and 1/3 of each lung. But I had her I did training at the prison system with the inmates, so she's a certified advanced therapy dog now. And so she's done a lot with Alzheimer's people, reluctant readers for children, wounded warriors. And Sam, my husband, found in South Carolina also, and he had mange, and he was very unadoptable. Even the vet said put him down, and I said, well, let's try to save him. And that was almost 13 years
13
ago.
years, still going.
So it's still going. It's with faith, like I said, with a little bit of faith. And you have to try. That's the one thing I would like to say to anyone that is going through cancer, has a family member going through cancer. Please don't give up. You're going to have days that aren't so great when you're not feeling so well or just depressed. Just get through that. Get through that, because it does get better. And you can't change whatever God's plan is for you. You can't change it, but you can embrace it. And that will help you regardless of what's going to happen.
Well, just sitting here and doing this interview with you, you're an overcomer. And it says, for those who shall overcome, they shall inherit the earth. And you are a great example of someone who's an overcomer. You know, your life experience, a testimony of your life. Thank you for sharing. We happy to have you. It's going to reach the world. And I have a very good vibe about this one. I've done a few, but I have a good vibe about this one.
Well, I thank you, and for, as I said, for any of you that are facing this or your family members, you'll be in my thoughts and prayers. And I just wish you all well. As for me, I only have good things ahead of me.
Thank you, Judy, for a beautiful time. Thank you for the coffee. And thank you for the cookies. You didn't see the, we have to show people the, I didn't see, we have to show them the hospitality. Coffee and cookies. All right. Okay. See you out. Be good.